Welcome to this short video on critical thinking, a skill you'll use across all kinds of writing assignments and in everyday life. Whether you're analyzing a text, writing a response, or making sense of arguments, critical thinking helps you break things down and really engage with ideas. At its core, critical thinking is about slowing down and asking the right questions. What am I looking at? What does it really mean? How do I know this is valid? This way of thinking makes your writing sharper, more thoughtful, and dare I say it, more persuasive. And in critical thinking courses, that's half the battle. We're going to break critical thinking into 3 practical steps. 1. Analyze. 2. Evaluate. 3. Infer. Now let's explore these one by one using both real-life examples and a larger analysis of the animated movie The Lion King. Step 1. Analyze. Definition: analyze means to break down complex information into smaller parts to understand it better. Real-life example: you're shopping for a new phone. You analyze the different models by breaking down the specs, camera quality, battery life, price, and storage. This allows you to focus on individual elements, helping you make a better informed choice based on what matters most. Now let's analyze The Lion King. Instead of just one big thing, we can look at the whole movie as being made of pieces. Elements like the characters, plot, theme, animation, or setting are parts of the movie that can be analyzed and critiqued, often giving the watcher a more nuanced, in-depth understanding of the story. Let's choose the characters Mufasa and Scar from The Lion King for our part to analyze. By analyzing the difference between Mufasa's wisdom and Scar's selfishness, one can see how leadership and responsibility are central themes in the film. This character analysis leads to a greater understanding of the story's themes and provides a more in-depth interaction with the movie. Step 2. Evaluate. To evaluate means to assess the strengths and weaknesses of an idea, argument, or information to judge its validity and relevance. In other words, how good or bad something is and why. Real-life example: you're deciding between taking an online class or attending in person. Online is more flexible but has less face-to-face interaction, but in person has more community but less schedule freedom. Evaluating both options helps you make a logical, thoughtful decision based on what works best for you in that situation. Evaluating Scar's leadership reveals key insights into the film's message. His strength lies in his cunning and strategy, which allow him to take the throne. However, his weakness is his selfishness. He rules without responsibility, causing the Pride Lands to fall into ruin. This evaluation helps us better understand the film's theme. Leadership requires more than ambition; it demands integrity and care for others. By contrasting Scar's failure with Mufasa's responsible leadership, the story highlights the importance of accountability in both leadership and life. Step 3. Infer. To infer means to make logical conclusions from available information, even if it's not explicitly stated. Like solving a puzzle even though some pieces are missing. Real-life example: you walk into your house and see muddy shoes by the door. You infer that someone went outside and returned without cleaning their shoes. Even though nobody told you this directly, you make a logical connection based on the evidence, which demonstrates the critical thinking skill of filling in gaps to understand situations. When Scar takes over, his leadership is defined by greed and neglect. He allows the hyenas to overhunt, disrupting the balance and the circle of life that Mufasa once protected. Under Scar, the once thriving Pride Lands descend into famine and chaos. So how can we use inference to analyze leadership in The Lion King? In critical thinking, we use inference to look at how the Pride Lands flourish under Mufasa and decay under Scar. We can infer that balance and selflessness is essential for good leadership. Scar's selfishness causes a breakdown in the ecosystem, and from that, a movie fan can infer the larger implication that a leader's greed and neglect for the community leads to widespread suffering.